Meghan Markle and Prince Andrew, two names you'd never expect to cross paths. Yet that's exactly where this story begins. Royal biographer Andrew Lownie has just dropped explosive new claims that draw a direct line between Meghan and Andrew in ways no one anticipated. And what is uncovered could completely rewrite what we thought we knew about both of them. So who is this man making such bold revelations? Andrew Lownie isn't some tabloid commentator chasing clicks. He's a seasoned royal biographer who spent years investigating Prince Andrew's most guarded scandals. His exposé on Andrew became one of the most talked-about royal tell-alls in modern history. And it wasn't built on hearsay. Lownie had credible insiders, first-hand witnesses, people who knew exactly what happened behind closed doors. Despite threats and pressure to stop, he kept going. He dug deeper. And what he unearthed links Meghan Markle to Prince Andrew in ways that are as shocking as they are undeniable. The mainstream outlets won't touch the story, but the evidence is there, hiding in plain sight. It begins with one meeting no one was ever supposed to hear about. September 2013, Toronto, Canada. Meghan was there, filming Suits, just another actress trying to make her way in Hollywood. Or at least, that's what everyone believed. Insiders once hinted that Meghan's early social circle in Toronto and New York might have overlapped with members of the royal family long before she met Prince Harry. At the time, Meghan was working on Suits and moving in elite circles that included actors, entrepreneurs, and a few well-connected British names. The coincidences were striking. Shared friends, the same events, even the same social venues like Soho House, where she often spent time with close friends such as Marcus Anderson. That world connected her, indirectly, to many people who would later play roles in her royal story. The same parties, the same networks, threads that, years later, made her sudden entry into royal life seem almost fated. By 2017, when she attended a wedding in Jamaica with Prince Harry's longtime friends, those separate circles had finally converged. The rest, as they say, changed royal history forever. She always maintained that she hadn't met Meghan before the royal wedding, and for years, that was the official story. But there's something intriguing about that time period, especially the circles they both moved in. Meghan attended the wedding of one of Harry's oldest friends in Jamaica, an event filled with familiar faces from the royal world. That trip marked a turning point. It was a moment Meghan's private life, her Hollywood world, and the royal circle first began to overlap. The link between those worlds, connections that trace back to Soho House, the members-only network that quietly shaped London's modern elite. It wasn't just a social club. It was a crossroads for actors, entrepreneurs, royals, and power players. Meghan's close friend Marcus Anderson worked there for years and became known as a key connector, someone who introduced people, built bridges, and moved in both celebrity and aristocratic circles. Through those connections, Meghan stepped into a world that would eventually change her life forever. Marcus Anderson wasn't just another name in the London social scene. He was a rising force. His quick climb through the ranks at Soho House turned heads, and by his 40s, he was considered one of the most connected figures in its inner circle. Known for his charm, discretion, and ability to bring people together, Anderson became the quiet link between some of the most influential names in entertainment and high society. Before Meghan ever met Prince Harry, Anderson already moved among royals, artists, and industry leaders. He built trust, formed networks, and became the kind of person everyone wanted in their corner. When Meghan began spending more time in London, Anderson was there, introducing her to new circles, opening doors few outsiders could access. Soho House itself has long carried an air of mystique, private, selective, and famously silent about what happens behind its doors. It's where deals are struck, friendships are built, and reputations are made. To this day, it remains a crossroads of people from every level of power, business, fashion, and royalty, all moving through the same elegant, secretive spaces. Anderson's loyalty to Meghan never wavered. From Toronto to New York to London, and later across the Atlantic to California, he's remained one of her most trusted allies, a constant presence through every chapter of her story. Through shared friends and overlapping circles, Marcus Anderson became the quiet link connecting everyone, the go-between who seemed to know exactly who needed to meet and when. His introductions never felt forced. They seemed natural, effortless, almost coincidental. But behind that smooth exterior was a network of relationships that reached far deeper than most people realized. When questions began to surface years later about how these circles intertwined, even legal experts started taking notice. Some speculated about what certain individuals might know from their time around those same social groups, the same gatherings, the same names, the same events that connected the worlds of London, New York, and Toronto. What's clear is that Meghan's early connections place her within a tight web of influence, one where politics, power, and privilege quietly overlapped. And as those connections came under public scrutiny, new questions emerged about just how much she may have seen, heard, or understood from her proximity to that world. Especially when it comes to Fergie, because her connection to Meghan went deeper than a simple introduction. Meghan herself once mentioned in the Oprah interview that Fergie had shown her how to curtsy before meeting the Queen. It sounded casual, but the way she said it carried a strange familiarity. It didn't sound like a new acquaintance. It sounded like history. Behind the scenes, whispers suggested their relationship went back further than anyone admitted. Fergie was said to have offered guidance, coaching Meghan on how to handle royal life and all the hidden rules that came with it. But the stories from that time aren't all flattering. People who worked close to Meghan in Toronto described moments that painted a very different picture from her public charm, accounts that never reached daylight, tucked away like so many other unspoken royal secrets. Meanwhile, new leaks have reignited old scandals, this time involving emails that tie into figures the palace would rather not discuss. Those messages, reportedly released from behind bars by someone with her own agenda, are shaking the foundations again, and hinting there's far more to come. Inside the palace, frustration is boiling over. Not everyone wants to keep shielding the same people anymore. Prince William, in particular, is said to be losing patience. Parliament avoids the issue, the king deflects it back, and the cycle continues while public outrage grows louder by the day. The calls for accountability are only getting stronger, and if something doesn't give soon, the monarchy could be facing a reckoning it can't delay much longer. But even as pressure mounts around Andrew, the story refuses to slow down. It's only getting bigger. Because Andrew Lownie isn't finished digging. Not even close. He's currently expanding his book, adding over 60 new pages of revelations. In his own words, the updated edition is coming soon, and insiders say those pages aren't filler. They are full of fresh information, names, timelines, and connections that could send shockwaves through both political and royal circles. People with real power, people who don't want to be mentioned. Yet, one by one, witnesses are stepping forward. People who stayed silent for years are finally talking, and Lownie is capturing every word. The deeper he goes, the wider the web becomes. And right at the center of that growing web sits Meghan Markle. So here's what we actually know. Meghan is said to have crossed paths with Prince Andrew in Toronto back in 2013. Later, she was seen moving in the same social circles as his daughters in New York. She attended the same elite events as Fergie. She flew on private jets connected to billionaires with controversial ties. She maintained a close friendship with Marcus Anderson, the man who linked so many of these names together. And when the Epstein case resurfaced, the attorney representing Virginia, Jeffrey, wanted to question Meghan herself. Add to that Fergie's suspicious denial about when she met Meghan, and the coincidences stopped looking like coincidences at all. The more you follow the trail, the more tangled it gets, the more stories contradict, the more secrets unravel. The palace is trying to smother the noise, and the major outlets are avoiding it completely. But the truth doesn't stay buried forever. It leaks, piece by piece, through emails, testimonies, and quiet confessions. Meghan Markle and Prince Andrew. Two names that should never have collided, yet here they are, linked by a chain of events no one can fully explain. And this story, it's nowhere near finished. More documents will surface. More voices will speak. And when they do, the version of the royal family we think we know might never look the same again. So let me ask you, do you believe Meghan knew exactly what she was walking into, or was she simply caught in the wrong web at the wrong time? Tell me in the comments. And if this breakdown opened your eyes, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it so more people can see what's really unfolding behind palace doors.